Alrighty, folks, we have the one and only and amazing Cody Davis with us, and he has recently uncovered a wealth building hack that I think all of us should at least think about using. And I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let Cody share with me what he has uncovered. Cody, what's going on, man? You're always finding more and more ways to get wealthy, man. I love it.
Well, trying to make the best of what I can with what I've got. And so that prompts creativity. But great to see you again. Another beautiful week.
Yep.
And we could jump straight into it.
Yeah.
This stems from a conversation I had with a property owner, an 8-figure property owner. And he has bought and sold properties based on how things feel. The numbers had to make sense, but he's built his portfolio over a long period of time. It had to cash flow. But if it felt good, he did it. If it didn't feel good, he wouldn't do it, or he'd sell it at that point in time.
Like it.
And he brought up, he's like, well, you could just pay down your loan on your property, but then the only problem is your return is what the interest rate is. And that caused me to think, because mortgages are not simple interest, they're amortized. The way it works, there's a schedule that's fixed whether you accelerate it or not. There's a fixed schedule. And so it caused me to think. I spent some time, came up with my questions, and I used ChatGPT as a tool, which is what it is. And I proposed my questions in a way that made it clearer for me. Instead of doing it on a piece of paper, spending a few hours, I asked him to put it out. And within 30 seconds, it prompted what would have taken me a couple hours to do. And it gave me the formulas and how it worked. And it actually generated a PDF that I figured we could go over today.
Yeah, we'll share it in a minute. But really what I want to make sure we uncover and people really caught is basically your mentor, your friend is like, hey, sometimes in the environment it doesn't really make sense to buy or sell. So you could focus on paying down your debt. And what your friend was telling you was, hey, if you kind of do that, your return is just whatever the interest rate is, right? 5.9, 7%, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And for lots of people with low rate debt, a lot of people watching this have 2 and 3% debt. It doesn't make sense, right? You can get more in a bank account these days. So you were basically looking a way to turbocharge that.
Yeah, and the problem with that is I wanted to challenge it. I like challenging the conventional thinking, and I've heard that many times. Whatever you pay down, that's the rate of return you're going to get. But since it's an amortized loan, that's actually not true. And what I found is you can get 10, 12, up to 30% rates of return paying down a 6% interest rate loan.
All right, Cody, this is the wealth hack. I'm going to say it again, then we're going to look at what ChatGPT built just in a moment. But let's just say you had a 6% loan and you're interested in making a 30% return. All right, let's look at it. Let's see what Cody built for us. And again, I love the fact you did this with ChatGPT. That's just so cool.
It saved so much time. My prompt was, and the whole prompt was the idea that if I pay cash for something, I pay it off completely, I'm going to get an unlevered return.
Yep.
And if I pay a little bit towards my mortgage, I pay it off faster. What is the most efficient number in the middle expressed as a percentage before I hit diminishing returns? In simple terms, what is the correct amount of money to throw at my mortgage before I could get a better return somewhere else?
Okay. I like
that was the whole goal, because I want to be as efficient as possible.
Yep.
And
so you could pay cash on one end, which is completely unlevered, or you could just do a full 30-year AM, which is the least. And you're trying to find the most efficient number in the middle.
And I want to find the sweet spot in year one.
Okay.
Within another, because I don't want to play the whole theoretical game of 5-10 years. If I made a payment, what would it be? Because I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 to 10 years. I may not care. I may not own the asset. I want to look at the short term after I bought a rental. It's like Matt the Lumberjack. I'm a landlord. Now what? Right? You bought it. Now what do we do? And it created this cool chart. And while there's just a lot of dots on a piece of paper, what I like more than this chart is this right here. So I asked it to put it into a numbers format that was easy to digest.
Okay.
At the end of the first year, if I paid 1% of a $400,000 loan, 6% M, these numbers will change based on your interest rate, which is why the formulas are what are important.
Okay.
I would say $42,000 in change over the course of the loan.
Okay.
4,000 spent on paying off debt, 42,000 in savings. That's a 10.5x on the money.
So let me make sure I understand that. So again, what you're saying in year one, and is this assuming a $400,000 loan? Was that what it was?
This is a $400,000 loan. So I'm paying 1% of the loan down.
Right. So it just so I'm clear, is it 1% extra down?
It's a lump sum payment at the end of the year.
Oh, lump sum payment. Oh, I should have just read the slide. Stupid. Okay, my bad.
So I'd be writing a check for $4,000.
And just so we're clear, making 12 payments.
Correct.
Got it. So it's
But
the extra 4. Got it.
You make the extra lump sum of 1%, and I'm going to save $42,000 given these loan terms, which that's not a 10.5%. That's a 10.5x.
Right.
It's 1,050% return over the course of the 30-year scheduled term. Granted, you're going to pay it off faster than 30 years at that point.
Correct.
But the beauty of it is $42,000 divided by the 30-year scheduled term is $1,400 per year if you simplify the interest savings.
I like it. Oh, okay.
$1,400 on a $4,000 investment is a 35% rate of return annualized.
Yeah. So again, folks, So what he's doing there, right? He took his $4,000 lump sum payment. He's taking the total interest saved of 42,000, dividing that to get a yearly number, and then he's taking that yearly number 1,400 against the $4,000, and he makes, I don't know what it was, 32%. That's pretty wild.
35. And
35, sorry.
For some of the people that are watching this that may say, well, mathematically speaking, actually different because you're saving time on the back of the loan and you're waiting 1 year to make this payment. But the concept remains the same, and the math is there to support it. You can get a much higher rate of return than just saving your interest rate, because what you're really doing is saving time on a set of scheduled payments. You're skipping into the future.
Right.
And the time is the thing at the end of the day you can't get back. So if you can do something to where you can budget, it's like, okay, let's budget 1 year, first year of ownership. How can we save $333 a month to make our $4,000 payment on our $400,000 loan? And if we can do that, not only is that going to save us interest on that money we put down, but it's going to save us enough money to buy our new car over the course of that term. You can look at things a little differently, and that goes a long ways.
I like that. This is a very unique way of looking at it. Your mind simply works different than most people. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And it goes even a little bit further. ChatGPT is an amazing tool. I asked it to give an actual example and simplify it a little bit further. And we don't have to go super deep into the weeds. That people can use the tool, and luckily they're free.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay money to build this. It's limited to what you can prompt and think. But it gave an example, the $400,000 principle. This is what's tied to that chart up above. And it theorized that between 1 to 5% of the loan balance provides the highest return on investment at the end of year one. It's a 5x to 10x return, not percent, but multiple.
Yes.
Interest saved per $1 paid. And this ties directly, you notice the 5 all the way up to 10. It's mapped out here so people can rewatch this, but it's amazing that there's an actual number people can shoot for now, because I haven't heard anybody giving actual specific examples. Dave talks about, well, what if we just make as many extra payments as we can to hammer our debt one at a time?
Right.
So you do the consumer, then you do the home. Well, now there's an actual metric to shoot for. Right. And when you have goalposts, it's much easier to score.
Yeah, if you know where you're shooting, it's a lot easier to score. Exactly. Okay, this is great. This is all theory. But now that you've done this, now that you've clearly digested it and can share it with folks, which is really where the power of this comes from, what is Cody doing different?
So there's a couple things on that. What I've learned with commercial real estate and residential real estate is that a loan is a loan. So they're amortized. You can do this on residential. You can do it on commercial. I'm doing a few things moving forward, and I actually texted you about it for your thoughts.
Yep.
I'm setting up all my mortgages to pay. So example, I've got a $6,000 PI payment, principal and interest, on a 12-plex. And so what I'm looking at doing is doing a $3,000 payment on the first and a $3,000 payment on the 10th.
There you go.
Without even making any extra payments, that will save me interest in the long term, especially on millions and millions in debt.
Yes.
I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to be looking at using that tool to figure out, okay, I've had some of these loans for 1 year. I've had some of them for 2. What's the most efficient number for the second year so that I can start to budget into the future for the most efficient number to hit?
Got it.
And so I'm going to be focused on not necessarily throwing all of my money to pay off loans, but most intentionally as I can, optimize my money to save interest. Because if I can save a couple $100,000 here and there, that goes a long ways.
Yeah, I just again love the way you're thinking. Again, you're in your mid-20s to be thinking about something that will put, like, if you do this, it's going to save you decades of interest, right? When you really put it in the context of your portfolio, which is very meaningful.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's what I'm coming to the same conclusion on. So I'm glad to hear it from you because you are decades ahead of me.
Yeah,
on this path.
Yeah, and again, I mean, just to put it in context, right? I've got 25 years of doing this. If I was Cody's age, thinking this way, this is going to shock people. My portfolio would be debt-free today. And let me just tell you, my portfolio is not debt-free. I'll say that again. If I was thinking like Cody and taking these steps in year 1 and year 2, I would now be 53 years old and debt-free. That's wild to think about.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not a small portfolio.
No, it's not a small portfolio. It's pretty wild to think about. So Cody, again, I don't know what is in your brain that makes you think so different, but I appreciate it. I love that you're always questioning things. You're taking common, I don't know, theories and really digging deeper. You're using technology like ChatGPT. You're getting visuals. And most importantly is you're leaning into learning. And I think the best learning comes when you could share it with others like you just did right now on this channel. So I think you've got it. I think you're on a great path. And I look forward to seeing what you do with this.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah. Cody, where can people find you?
Cody Davis Business Adventures on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific, officially on a schedule.
I love it. Keep it up, man. Keep doing great things. It's going to grow and grow, and you're really going to change people's lives. So, Cody, keep it up.
Appreciate it. Thanks.